Now, let's get straight into the panel. Let's get straight into getting your key questions answered for this topic. Now, first up, I'd like to introduce someone to you who I've personally known for a very long time. They're an extremely, incredibly lovely, warm and friendly person. They'd help anyone when it comes to property. And because of this mission, they're able to help people in the world of finance. So this particular person is also a property investor and property developer, and they focus on a specific type of financing, which is known as crowdfunding. Just give me a thumbs up if you've heard of crowdfunding before. Yeah, perfect. And for those of you who it's new to you, just give me a little hand raise if that's new to you, if crowdfunding is new. Okay, perfect. So this person is Ms. Atuksha Punwasi, and she is a managing director of Simple Crowdfunding. Let's give Atuksha a huge round of applause. Okay, perfect. Atuksha, can everyone see you, and can everyone see Atuksha?
I can see people.
Okay, hello Atuksha, how are you?
Good, thank you.
All right, perfect. Now, joining Atuksha, we actually have someone who has been in the finance market for a very long time. Now, this person has seen the highs and the lows of the market, and at the same time, they had the finger on the pulse when it comes to the mortgage market. And for those of you who know the Premier Property Club and you know the Premier Property community, you know that this is none other than Mr. Peter van der Vennen. So a round of applause for Mr. Peter van der Vennen, please. Perfect. And we see Peter here. Peter, can you give a hello to the team?
Hello, everybody. Warm welcome to Premier Property.
So excellent, Peter. Lovely to see you again after such a long time. To be fair, I'm not sure whether you're going to be speaking on the panel this evening or you're going on for some PlayStation gaming. Could be one or the other, but we'll find out as the evening goes on. But thank you for joining us this evening. Perfect. No now, second to last, we have someone who is known in the property market as a short-term financing expert. And we can use short-term funding for a variety of different reasons. And by doing this, it means that we can get deals done, but we can get them done securely and safely, and at the same time, make a lot of money on the side. So this person is none other than Director of Together Finance, Mr. Scott Hendry. Now we've got Scott, we've got Peter, we've got Atuksha. Now with any property panel, with any discussion in property, it's always important to have someone who is a property investor and developer and is able to tap into different forms of funding. Would you agree with me, team? Give me 2 thumbs up. Yeah, fantastic. So this is the reason why we have this next person on the panel. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this gentleman's got over 30 years of experience in property, and that's not buying one property over a 30-year period. It's being active in property on a month-by-month basis for the last 30 years. And like I mentioned, he's used all the different types of funding, and we're going to be sharing with you right now how you can move forward in property using these different types of funding. So let's give a huge round of applause for Mr. Kam Dovedi.
A round of applause for just the fact that I can actually use a computer and get online.
That's it, just about. So guys, I've introduced you slightly. So just to hear a bit more about you, what would you say you bring to finance or property finance in this industry right now? How can you assist other people? And where do you think the property finance market is actually heading? So Atuksha, if you'd like to start with that one, please. I'd drop you straight into the deep end.
Thanks for that. There's a number of things. So in terms of what we bring to the property finance market, we bring a different way of raising funds and raising finance for your property projects, especially for SME developers, small to medium-sized developers. That's on an equity basis, on a loan basis as well, and we can do the full finance stack if we need to. The beauty of it is it's very public, and so through crowdfunding you can have hundreds of investors who back a project, and it also helps sort of increase your brand presence and awareness online. The thing for investors, the people who are looking to get into property, it also presents a huge opportunity for investors. You can learn on live projects, you can invest that's proportionate to you, and you basically choose what you want to get involved with. So that's how we, or that's what we bring to property finance. In terms of where I think this or where finance market is going, especially for property, I actually think that crowdfunding, peer-to-peer lending, and other slightly different forms of finance will basically become much more normal and much more regular, because we're not like large institutional establishments as such, and so we can be quite fluid. So if you have projects that are a little bit different, or you have small sites where you're sort of building sort of anything between 2 and say 20 houses, then actually it's perfectly suited to property developers.
Perfect. Thank you, Tuksha. And how about you, Peter? What kind of finance are you offering, and how do you see the market moving forward in the next maybe couple of months?
Okay, yeah, thanks, Vishal. Yeah, the way, what I can offer people at the moment, as far as I'm concerned, is a good insight into buy-to-let lending. Obviously, we do use crowdfunders and we do use bridging at time, but I'll let those guys come on to that. But yeah, I would always like to say that I think, we think outside the square. If there's a way of doing a deal, even if it's a complicated deal, that we'll try and find that way. If we can't, then maybe it can't be done. Let's say that. Rates are very cheap at the moment. Possibly could get cheaper. We'll have to wait and see where things go. And as far as I'm concerned, we add value. I'm an investor myself, work closely with Cam. I know the types of projects he's doing. And hopefully we can make sure that all their finance works for people in the right way. And also things like the structure. So I'm having more and more conversations around the limited company structure or not, or LLP, and making sure that the finance works for you in the best way. It's not about getting the finance, it's about getting the cheapest finance as well. Where do I think things are going? As far as I'm concerned, obviously things have really come on in the last 7 to 10 days. A lot of the lenders have come back to market, although with restricted panels of products and so on. But that is just purely and simply because they've got to manage the badly named mortgage holidays, which aren't holidays at all, of course, as you've realised. But I think that finance is going to be available. We've already seen a couple of sort of brand new lenders come to market, not in the buy-to-let world, but bridging money, that type of thing. I think the biggest word I can see is that I'm on a couple of panels for innovation with a couple of lenders, and they called us in straight away. Got one this week and one next week, where it's about the lenders that are going to innovate in the next 6 to 12 months. And they're the ones that I think will take their businesses to a different level, because we need innovation. And that's not just technological, that is product innovation as such. So going outside the norm. So I see a lot of that type of thing coming up at the moment. I say even more new lenders to the market. We sadly will see some go for whatever reason, which I can drill down into as time goes on. But yeah, there isn't anything that I haven't seen in the past. I was counting this up the other day. I think this is 6th time I've been through this type of downturn, whether it be economical or this one virus driven and so on. So yeah, I've been through it, seen it over the years, and should be able to help anybody that needs help.
Perfect. Thank you, Peter. And how about yourself, Scott?
I represent Together, so we're a principal lender specialising in a variety of types of finance. To go slightly beyond that, Together assist in more property finance type scenarios than any other lender in Great Britain. So not only one of the largest bridging lenders in the UK, we also provide buy-to-let type finance development, so on and so forth, in a variety of types of situation, ranging from credit impairment to those absolute vanilla type transactions. What we specialise in and why people tend to come to us is 2 things, or possibly even 3 things. My MD would probably say 997 things, but he's not here at the moment. Speed is a massive factor. the ability to on an acquisition to agree a purchase at a reduced level on the basis you can complete within 5 working days, that's something that we deliver on. Many of our clients advertise themselves as we buy your house for cash type individuals. Of course they don't. Many of them we use together, and a few other lenders as well. The second reason, and Peter there referred to it, about lending strategies within boxes and so on and so forth. We don't work off a tick box criteria. We work on a common sense basis, looking at every single transaction on its own merits. And again, going back to the property type, non-mortgageable properties, it doesn't matter. Just because it's not got a kitchen or a bathroom, nib to B&Q, they're open at the moment. It's 300 quid to put a bathroom in a property. And we will then lend on a property irrespective of its condition, whether it's got a hole in the roof, it doesn't really matter. In terms of where the market's going, sadly, I'm working from home. I've left my crystal ball in the second drawer of my office desk, sadly. But there's a couple of things to be mindful of at the moment. On one huge thing that's shining out, and that this market, despite challenging, it's riddled with opportunity. And I know that from 3 of every calls I have in every 4, which is a client, you can almost hear the effervescence in the background, frothing at the mouth because they're able to buy a property cheaper than they could have bought it 3 months ago. Peter also alluded to the fact that, money is really cheap. It might get a little bit cheaper. So we've got cheap money and opportunity in property. Where's the market going to go? Do you know what? There's a level of optimism. There's a lot that we should be a bit worried about and concerned about, rightfully so. But I do believe that there is a little bit of optimism out there, and I'm hearing it on a daily basis.
Perfect. Thank you, Scott. And then we have Cam. So your perspective, please, on the finance market now and where you kind of see it heading.
In terms of finance, there's a lot of finance available, and we've seen it right at the beginning of the COVID-19 situation. And we've actually done deals right the way through. In fact, the people that you got on this panel are very, can I say, very close friends and very close colleagues. And I mean, the number of conversations I've had with Peter, Tuksha, and Scott, I mean, I never know what Scott's wearing on the bottom half, but I don't really want to know, to be fair. But
I'll show you later.
But the number of conversations we've had, I mean, we've even, right, Scott, we've had a completion, isn't it, right early on in COVID-19. Remember that on the first week, right, wasn't it?
Yeah, I remember that week very, very well. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's working from home. It was a complete mess, but we still, finance was still available, and we still, we still managed to get it over the line. And I've done this with these guys a number of times. And the reason I mention this is that you've really got your power team right here, at Premier Property to assist you and help you. And there are 2 realms of finance that we use as investors and developers at Premier Property, which actually many people forget about, yet you really need to remember. And these we're using all the time. And this networking event that we have here right now, the Premier Property Club online networking event here, is really helping you with these 2 types of financing. And I do have to say, I'm very proud of my team, doing all of this and creating all of this. And the 2 realms I'm talking about are, very applicable to what I'm saying here right now, because it's all about networking, because you can use other people's money. So other people with funds right now sitting in the bank account, and you know what that's earning, you can utilize that, help them and help yourself to do projects. So that is readily available. And also what we've been doing through the COVID-19 situation and the lockdown is we've also been doing a number of joint ventures. So people's money, other people's money, joint ventures are very readily available. And why do I mention the Premier Property Club online? Well, at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, if you can't see into someone's eyes, should you really be doing a joint venture with them? So, things like this where, we can actually adapt to the situation, and it's all about adapting, means that you can actually do that. You can actually look into someone's eyes, you can actually have a conversation, and you can get to know someone really well. So where the money comes from.